sometimes after a divorce or even a breakup, we just kind of get stuck and feel like we can't really move on from the relationship. And one of the reasons is that we're having trouble forgiving, so maybe we feel like we don't want to forgive them because it'll make us look weak, or it's going to, let them think that what they did was okay. And we definitely don't think that what they did was okay. And so when we do that, we end up hanging on to resentment. Anytime we hang on to resentment, we're not going to be able to move on, and we're not going to be able to get over it. It's basically like carrying around a 20-pound weight. So until, you can really let go of the weight or forgive, it's going to be hard to really move on and get over the relationship. So when we feel like forgiveness is possible, the whole thing becomes a little bit lighter, right? So much like letting go of that 20-pound weight. So forgiveness can be hard, but there are ways to learn how. And every time you try, you become a little more open to it and you get a little bit closer to moving on, right? And maybe you think you're trying and you're really working on getting over it and it just isn't working. You're doing all the things, right? But sometimes one of the other reasons that we're just not getting over it is really because we don't want to move on. We don't want to get over it. It seems like we wouldn't do that to ourselves, but on the other side of moving past the relationship is really all these things that are unknown, these fearful things that we don't really know what they're going to look like. Things like dating, meeting new people, possibly rejection, falling for somebody new. Maybe we don't find anybody at all. There's all these things that we don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that. So we end up just kind of staying stuck where we are, holding on to the relationship, right? Because the pain that we know is always more comfortable than the discomfort of the unknown. So it's easier to do what you already know how to do. And so you keep doing that. So you don't get over it. You hang on to the pain. And you keep waiting, to see why it's going to change, and it doesn't. Another reason why sometimes we just don't want to get over it is that we feel like if we move on from the relationship, then somehow that relationship didn't matter. It wasn't important, right? So holding on to the pain of the relationship, keeping it alive, that means that it meant something. And so this is, this is something that you really want to ask yourself. You want to say, am I really ready to get over it? Because it's important to know this. Are you really ready to move on and give up any hope that a relationship could still exist between the two of you? If you can't say yes, then you're just not there yet. You aren't ready to let go. You aren't ready to move on past that relationship. And that's okay. Most of us, when it comes to kind of processing this and letting go of the relationship, we don't want to sit down in the dumps and feel the sadness and feel all the negative emotion because it doesn't feel good, right? But I can promise you that if you'll go ahead and let all that in, sit with letting it go, all the stuff that comes with that, it's really not going to last nearly as long as it will if you continue to kind of hold on to it and just kind of step it down, right? So if you're feeling stuck after a painful breakup or a divorce, really sit with that loss and everything that goes along with it, because it might just help you figure out why you haven't moved on yet.